Welcome to section 5.11. This is the 66th session of the ISACA CISA exam prep series. In this session, we'll cover attack methods and techniques. Why do people commit fraud in the first place? Who are the attackers and what damage do they do? What are the main families of attack you should recognize? How does an internet attack unfold step by step? What is malware and how do you stop it? And how does ransomware actually work? Why does this matter on the job? Because you can't assess risk you don't understand. You don't need to be a hacker, but you do need to know how attacks happen. An attack can come from inside or from the other side of the world. Knowing the methods lets you spot the missing control. That's the difference between a real review and a checklist. So why do people commit fraud? Three things usually have to line up. Picture them as the three sides of a triangle. First is motivation, a real or felt need. Maybe debt, a grudge, or a craving for status. Second is rationalization, the story they tell themselves. Things like, I was only borrowing it. Third is opportunity, the actual chance to do it. Weak controls and poor oversight create that chance. Here's the key insight for you. Opportunity is the side you can control. Tighten access, separate duties, and the opening closes. Who are the attackers and what's at stake? Let's take the damage first. Direct financial loss and the cost of cleaning up. Legal trouble and lost credibility with customers. Blackmail, espionage, and leaked confidential information. And pure sabotage, where someone just wants to hurt you. Now, who does it? A whole cast of characters. Hackers probe limits, often for the challenge. Crackers break in with clear malicious intent. Script kiddies just run tools that others wrote. Then come insiders, current staff, technology custodians, and end users. Former employees who were never cut off. Contractors, vendors, and visitors with access. And outsiders, from competitors to whole nations. One distinction is worth keeping straight. Crime depends on the law where you are. So a breach might be civil, criminal, or neither. What are the main families of attack? There are dozens of techniques. Let's group them so they stick. The first family overwhelms a target. Denial of service and flooding drown a system in traffic. Botnets are armies of hijacked machines that do the flooding. The second family deceives a human. Social engineering tricks someone into giving up secrets. Phishing is the classic case. Spear phishing targets a few. Whaling targets the executives. And smishing and vishing arrive by text and phone call. The third family impersonates or intercepts. Eavesdropping listens to network traffic. A man in the middle sits between two parties. Masquerading and spoofing fake an identity or address. Packet replay and message modification tamper with what's sent. The fourth family redirects you to fake destinations. Farming and domain spoofing poison the internet's signposts. Web address poisoning rewrites links to a trap. The fifth family abuses applications and code. Injection attacks slip commands into a database query. Cross-site scripting and request forgery hijack web sessions. Hidden code includes Trojans, logic bombs, and backdoors. And a zero-day strikes a flaw before any fix exists. A few specialists round it out. Cryptojacking steals your processing power to mine currency. Juice-jacking attacks through a public charging port, and the salami technique shaves tiny slices off many transactions. You don't memorize every name. You recognize the family and the control that blunts it. How does an internet attack actually unfold? It moves in two phases. First, the quiet phase. The intruder probes for information without touching anything. Eavesdropping, traffic study, and network mapping profile the target. These are passive attacks. Then comes the loud phase. Armed with that map, the attacker strikes. Brute force, masquerading, denial of service, and unauthorized access. These are active attacks. Why do they succeed so often? Easy to find tools, weak awareness, and unpatched systems. Worst of all is the targeted attack. Custom malware plants a backdoor and hides. It quietly siphons data over weeks or months. To catch it, watch outbound traffic and known indicators of compromise. One more resource is worth knowing. A well-known project publishes the top web application vulnerabilities. It's a handy checklist of the most common, high-impact flaws. So what exactly is malware? It's malicious code that spreads itself to other programs. It can be a mild nuisance or genuinely destructive. The family includes viruses, worms, spyware, and rootkits. Here's a distinction the exam loves. A virus attaches itself to another program to spread. A worm doesn't attach at all. It travels on its own by exploiting weaknesses. So how do you defend against it? You need two halves, and neither works alone. The first half is policy and procedure. Build systems from clean copies. Scan all media before use and update signatures often. Back up reliably and educate users about attachments. The second half is technical. Anti-malware software is the most effective tool you have, but it's useless if you don't keep it updated. How does that software find threats? Several methods working together. Scanners match known signatures. Heuristic scanners guess at suspicious code, with more false alarms. Active monitors watch for malware-like actions. Integrity checkers flag files that changed unexpectedly. And behavior blockers stop abnormal activity early. One smart strategy is to stop malware at the door. A malware wall scans incoming traffic at the network edge, but it only guards one channel, so keep scanning everywhere else. How does ransomware work? It's malware that holds your data hostage with encryption. It runs in 3 stages. First, it gets in, usually through a phishing link. Then it encrypts your files and keeps the only key. Finally, it demands a ransom, often in cryptocurrency. Some attackers go further. They also threaten to leak your data if you don't pay. So how do you prevent it? Use secure networks and avoid open public Wi-Fi. Keep continuous backups and make them tamper-proof. Patch fast, use strong authentication, and shrink the attack surface. What if it's already running? Move quickly and carefully. Quarantine the machine and contain the spread. But don't switch the system off. Powering down wipes volatile memory you may need. Check for a free decryptor before you do anything drastic. Find patient 0 to locate the entry point. Wipe, restore from a clean backup, and report it to the authorities. And the ethics question? Most advice says don't pay. Paying funds crime, and the key may not even work. Let's bring it together. Fraud needs motivation, rationalization, and opportunity. You control the opportunity. Attackers range from script kiddies to nations. Group the attack families and you'll recognize the control. Internet attacks move from quiet probing to a loud strike. Fight malware with policy and technology together, and against ransomware, prevention and clean backups win. Know the methods, and the risk picture finally makes sense. The MCQs covering all the topics and concepts from this session are available on RooCloud.com. Practice the chapter-specific MCQs before moving on to the next session. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or feedback, post a comment below or email us. I will see you in the next session.